Hello YouTube viewers. Today I would like to talk about something that I don't think is widely known yet by the general public. And it is as follows. And I hope you don't mind that I read from my notes. Physicists have come to a very important milestone in the realm of quantum physics. In short, they cannot prove that the physical world exists. That is because upon observation, the structure of the atom changes, and apparently particles appear and disappear. In other words, when it comes down to the smallest bits of matter, they can no longer call it matter. Here is an excerpt from an article entitled "The Illusion of Matter," dated December 5, 2013. From www.collectiveevolution.com. Quantum physics has left scientists all over the world baffled, especially with the discovery that our physical material reality isn't really physical at all. And it also says, we are starting to recognize that non-physical properties govern the universe. Now, I don't know about you, but I think this is a major turning point in our historical struggle to understand who we are as spiritual beings. Holy men throughout human history have said all along that our physical world was an illusion. But now, finally, that statement is being supported by science. Now, of course, this doesn't mean we should abandon all reason and throw away our science books, because believe it or not, things are still the way they are. I think this has more to do with our philosophical ideas. For example, when it comes to the question of whether or not God exists, it still depends entirely on how one defines the word God. Personally, I do not agree with the overly simplistic religious idea that God created everything. And I'll tell you why. Firstly, God did not create himself. The very existence of God depends on eternal spiritual principles. So the bottom line is that the creation must be based on those same principles. That is how we can say that we were created in his image. Secondly, how can it be that a God who is himself stagnant be responsible for making everything else move? These technicalities are why I do not believe in God as creator. But I do subscribe to the idea that spirit is what the real thing is, and that the physical world is its reflection. Maybe that is just a different way of saying that I'm a believer, but with considerations. Anyway, the important thing now is that these kinds of ideas can no longer be easily rejected by science. Yes, they can still refuse words like God and Spirit, but again, that is a technicality. Some people in our history, like Emanuel Swedenborg, author of Heaven and Hell and a few other books, have been able to perceive the spiritual reality. So for them, there is no argument. But for those of us who see only the physical world, I can only show how the spiritual reality is inferred. My own point of view is that the fundamental attributes of the spiritual reality can be revealed through the examination of the figure of the perfect circle. By examining the motion which travels the path of the circle, we will see the most fundamental characteristics of both the spiritual and physical worlds. And they are as follows. Number 1, reciprocation. Eternal spiritual activity consists of the continual changing of states. This may be called reciprocation. It may also be called yin-yang activity. Number 2, circular motion. In the physical realm, reciprocation means back and forth movement. But this movement becomes circular because that is the path of least resistance. This motion is the foundation of all existence. Number 3, endless continuation. The circle has no beginning or end, but it is a genuine representation of the spiritual dynamic, and it serves as a window to the workings of the spirit. So, how exactly does the physical world reflect these attributes? I will tell you. Number 1, everything in the universe exists in a reciprocal relationship. For example, male and female. This reflects the original reciprocation, which some call the yin-yang relationship. Number 2, everything in the universe is recycled. Yes, individual things perish, but their energy is preserved. This means that the larger system continues forever. Number 3, the universe as a whole never ends, neither in space or in time. At least it seems that way. But that is enough, because it is not real anyway. It is only a representation of the spiritual reality, which is infinite. Now, for the question of origin. The bottom line is that there was no origin to our physical universe. The principles by which it exists were already there. And it is those eternal principles, which I just outlined above, that define all reality, which has no beginning or end. Thank you for listening.